Hello, and welcome to the very last time you may ever see me fail miserably at a game called Rumbleverse. As of February 28th this year, it has been completely shut down, securing its spot in all delisted lists known to man. The game was developed by Iron Galaxy, known for the 2013 dive kick fighting game, as well as being very good at porting games to or from console. Rumbleverse started development in 2017 as the team believed the game to be a convenient homage to the wrestling world, with the lack of firearms compelling players to change the tactics used in other Battle Royale titles, resulting in a different gameplay experience. They were absolutely correct. It was a one-of-a-kind wrestling game to ever see the light. The game was first announced at the 2021 Game Awards, initially set to release on February 15th, 2022. I remember watching the trailer live, and the game immediately caught my eye, as I was starting to really dislike the saturated Battle Royale market. It gave such a unique take visually and mechanically. The game was delayed so the team could add more content, and was fully released for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox on August 11th, 2022. It was announced January 30th of this year it would be closed on February 28th. This poor game was only alive for a whole 6 months. The reason for the shutdown has not been officially stated, and I'm quite positive it never will be. This only leaves us with assumptions, the obvious one being not enough of a player base or money coming in to justify keeping the servers alive. I was lucky enough to be there for the closed and open betas, same with the release, and could comfortably say it was a unique experience all around. Starting with the positives, you have to respect and value a game for not only creating, but keeping its very own community till its last breath. I'm obviously not big in the community, as I'm the average player who I will be talking about later in the video, but the small community Rumbleverse has built over those 6 months is incredibly strong, accepting, and filled with love. They've wanted nothing more than their favorite game to shine just for a little longer. Rumbleverse hits a brawling nerve in my system I never knew I had. Just like many other fighting games, it's very easy to learn, yet hard to master. You attack boxes to get a random loadout of weapons, abilities, buffs, or food to help you beat up everyone in the city. While the mastering comes in with learning all the different combos, which abilities do what, how to block or shield, grabbing and or throwing your opponent, stamina management, general map awareness, height advantage, among many other generic yet minuscule things you'd want to perfect to become a master of all trades. It boils down to becoming a very methodical fighting game, which may be another reason why I'm so bad at it. I lose patience fairly quickly in competitive titles, but hey, I'm working on it. Graphically, I know the game is not for everyone. It's extremely cartoony and was heavily compared to as a Fortnite clone without weaponry in its early days. It is incredibly vibrant with all the color-coded book abilities alongside the important drinks that would drop along the way, but I for one think they absolutely nailed the aesthetic they were going for. It's simple eye candy. They could have added or removed so much to their world and characters. Literally anything you could think of could have been an easy addition. As far as I can see, the options are limitless with this style. Now the whole point of the game is the combat, and it was extremely satisfying whenever you managed to pull off the hardest rock paper scissors game of your life. You always got a rush of excitement knowing you outbested your opponent by outsmarting them or just simply doing something crazy. Every fight was different, and though that may be a general battle royale thing, Rumbleverse just has a very different feel to it. I always got a huge rush knocking out players who were obviously doing better than me during the match. You can most likely see this proved in the background of this video. Spoiler though, I didn't actually win any of my last games. Sad. Now you may be thinking, Askemeh, that's great. But what went wrong? Well, aside what I mentioned prior with the whole not making enough money to justify keeping production alive, regardless of how many other options they may have had, the game had a lot of flaws. Most being technical flaws that are extremely unforgiving in any online game, let alone a fighting one, where latency matters the most. The servers were something that was always complained about, and for good reason. They were horrible, and it never fixed. There were times you would load into a lobby and know right away you were going to lose or straight up have a bad time. I've had games where I've got knocked down from simply walking down the street while an invisible guy just beats me up. You then get switched over to the kill cam and he's just running in place 2 blocks away from you on a roof. They did get slightly better over time, but have forever suffered with the latency and hit detection issues. The amount of punches you'd throw and miss or dodges you attempt but get smacked anyway, it's an incredibly frustrating thing. Dropped inputs were also a huge problem they had and never seemed to address. A brief example of that would be in the middle of a fight, you'd try to grab someone. You clearly pressed grab, but your character would never do the animation or attempt to grab at all. That grab is gone. That's a huge problem when the whole game is based around making sure you have fluid movement and attacks to counter the enemy. Speaking of combat, while overall being great, aside from the hiccups I mentioned before, there was a huge difference between a good player and a bad player. It reminded me of the good old COD days, but as much as I enjoyed that get good or don't play mindset, we're in a new age where if a title does not favor the casual player base or at least separate them from the competitive side, the average player will not stick around while they're getting demolished every single game or have a goal outside of improvement to work towards. Let's move on to the bots real quick. They were added in poor taste as they could never fill a lobby fast enough even with them. Queue times were another small problem as nobody except Tarkov players like sitting in a queue for long periods of time only to get knocked down within a few minutes to be thrown right back into another queue. Before you get mad at me, I can diss the Tarkov community because I'm a part of it. No pain, no gain, baby. It just sucks and is added onto the annoyance of playing a game, especially if you're playing with friends. Any one of you who gets knocked down quickly will not have to spectate or wait till everyone in your team wins or gets knocked down also. There is nothing worse than a game being completely against you, whether it's in your control or not. Sure, one unfair moment isn't the end of the world, but when it's constantly you versus the game and every moment is worse than the last, you lose a little faith, hope, and just flat out drive to play, and eventually will just vanish from it anyway. Why play something that makes you mad or has nothing you deem worthy of having to grind to get better for? Now I could go on talking about this game all day on what it did or didn't have to offer, but that's not why this video is being made. I mean absolute no disrespect with this video, I'm just saying how it was. I fully respect every single developer who worked on the game as they did an outstanding job providing a game that many got to experience and even cherish. I'm sure it's a heartbreaking experience for them also, having a game you put your soul into only to have it vanish not even a year after. It just sucks, man. On a positive note, they have confidently said it's not the last time we'll hear from them, nor the last time we'll be invited to play. I sure hope not. I can't wait to see what future projects the Iron Galaxy team will come out with, and who knows, maybe we will see a Rumbleverse 2 in the future. Perhaps it's not out of question. So yeah. Thank you Iron Galaxy and the Rumbleverse community for a great yet mildly frustrating time. It was an honor being able to test and take part in playing a fresh take on the Battle Royale genre. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble if you've made it this far. I usually make first impression and game review videos, but I thought it was only right to give a little closure to a game I once enjoyed and wanted to succeed. If you so happen to be one of the devs who managed to listen to this all, if you ever wanted an honest review of future titles, add me to that list, I got you. But of course, let me know your thoughts down below, especially if you were lucky enough to play Rumbleverse before its takedown. If so, what did you think of the game? But most importantly, until next time, take care.